rich, free, with endless options. So why are more and more millionaire men saying no to marriage? One single signature can tie decades of hard work to risks you can't even control, depending on where you live. I've paid the price for choosing the wrong time and the wrong person, and this is what I wish I knew sooner. Today, I'm breaking down 10 shocking reasons why wealthy men are walking away from marriage. And reason number 1 is the most controversial of all. From ROI of time and money, to the risk of a ruined reputation, to the brutal math of compatibility in the age of dating apps. It's all on the table. If you're standing at the edge of that decision, don't look away. Reason 10. Return on investment. Millionaire men think in terms of ROI, return on investment. Every decision, every deal, every project comes down to this simple question. Does the return justify the risk? And when it comes to marriage, the numbers don't add up. The investment is huge. Your time, your focus, your money, your freedom. The return, unpredictable, often negative. The risks are massive. Divorce rates remain high. Family courts are brutal, and the financial downside can wipe out decades of wealth creation. For a man who's worked his way to millionaire status, the thought of losing half in one stroke of a pen, it isn't just scary, it's irrational. Think of it this way. Would you put millions into a business venture where the odds of losing half your capital are greater than 50%? Of course not. Yet, that's exactly how many marriages look on paper today. Roy, it's the first, and maybe the clearest reason why successful men walk away from marriage. Reason 9. Protecting assets and reputation. Money can be rebuilt, but reputation? Once damaged, it can follow you for life. Millionaire men know this. Their reputation is their currency. It opens doors, builds networks, sustains trust. Marriage, and especially divorce, puts that reputation at risk. A bitter ex can tarnish your name with accusations. She can talk to friends, family, colleagues, painting you as the villain. And in today's culture, perception often outweighs reality. All it takes is one rumor, one accusation, to undo years of careful brand building. I've seen it firsthand. Men with thriving businesses, respected in their communities, suddenly become the subject of whispers and cold shoulders. Not because they failed in business, but because their marriage collapsed. For millionaire men, protecting assets isn't just about keeping wealth. It's about safeguarding the reputation that built that wealth in the first place. And marriage, too often, it places that reputation in someone else's hands. Reason 8. The modern dating market. Let's be honest. The dating landscape today looks nothing like it did 20 years ago. Dating apps have commoditized human beings. Swipe left, swipe right. It's a marketplace of faces, not character. And for men who value depth, loyalty, and shared vision, this market feels hollow. Social media inflates egos. Comparison culture fuels entitlement. And the question women often ask, what do you bring to the table, rarely gets turned back on themselves. For millionaire men who already bring wealth, status, and security, this dynamic feels upside down. Why enter a system that constantly undervalues what you provide, while rarely demanding accountability on the other side? Many successful men step back, look at the modern dating market, and simply say, no thanks. Reason 7. Vision and mission. Here's a truth few admit. What makes a man successful is rarely compatibility. It's mission. Millionaire men are driven by a vision. They see life not as something to pass through, but as something to conquer, to build, to shape. Their mission requires time. It demands energy. It doesn't always leave room for compromise. And marriage, with its responsibilities and distractions, often pulls men away from that mission. If your life goal is to build wealth, create lasting impact, or change the world, then every hour matters. A man on a mission doesn't want resistance. He doesn't want distraction. And too often, marriage becomes exactly that. That's why so many millionaire men stay single. Their vision is bigger than any single relationship. Reason 6. Immunity to manipulation. Every man, at some point, has felt it. The hot and cold behavior, the emotional games, the subtle manipulations are designed to test boundaries. Millionaire men have learned to spot it. They've built immunity. When you've seen how drama drains focus, you learn to reject it. When you've watched men lose empires because of emotional entanglements, you understand the stakes. For successful men, sorting through endless games to find a good one feels like a poor use of time and energy. So they step away. They focus on work, freedom, autonomy, and peace. And they leave manipulation behind. Reason 5. Liberation from the courtship game. Every man knows the script. Flowers, dinners, endless texting. The constant dance of showing just enough interest, but not too much. It's a game, a fragile routine built to maintain her sense of security while draining your time, money, and focus. Millionaire men have had enough. They look at the courtship process and ask, why play a game I don't need to win? One successful man told me after his divorce, the biggest relief wasn't financial. It was never having to chase again. Think about that. No more rehearsed compliments. No more seduction strategies. No more fragile balancing act. Liberation from the courtship game means freedom of mind and freedom of schedule. Hours, once spent chasing validation, are now invested in wealth, health, and inner peace. Marriage demands you keep playing that game for decades. Staying single lets you retire from it forever. Reason 4. The compatibility problem. Compatibility is rare, especially for men who live on another level. The truth? Most women aren't prepared or willing to match the lifestyle, pace, and vision of a millionaire man. And the odds of finding true alignment are low. To discover the one woman who genuinely fits, you may have to sift through dozens, maybe hundreds, who don't. For successful men, that's time they don't want to waste. Imagine being in your prime years of wealth creation, yet spending endless nights in trial and error relationships. That's not just inefficient. It's a poor investment of life itself. That's why many men flip the order. They build their wealth first. They build their independence. Then, maybe later, they consider whether compatibility is worth pursuing. But by then, most find they don't need it. Their lifestyle is complete without forcing fit. Marriage demands compatibility, but compatibility is rare. That's a gamble most millionaire men refuse to take. Reason 3. Psychological sovereignty. This is one of the most powerful reasons, and one that rarely gets talked about. Psychological sovereignty. It means you no longer need validation from the outside world. You aren't searching for approval from family, friends, or society. You validate yourself. Millionaire men often arrive here after years of building, failing, and winning on their own terms. They no longer need someone to tell them they're enough. They don't need marriage as a badge of maturity. They don't crave the title of husband to prove they're responsible. They know who they are. They know what they value. And they refuse to trade inner freedom for external applause. Society says, a man is complete when he marries. Psychological sovereignty says, a man is complete when he chooses himself. That's why so many wealthy men embrace solitude. It's not loneliness. It's autonomy. It's peace of mind. Reason 2. Lessons from betrayal. Behind every guarded millionaire man is a story of betrayal, of loyalty tested and lost. Maybe it happened in his 20s, when the woman he trusted walked away during hard times. Maybe it was later, in a marriage that collapsed, the moment money dried up, or in a divorce where promises of forever turned into battles over assets. The lesson hits deep. Men are expected to be the rock. But few women return that strength when life flips. When he's strong, she leans. When he's weak, too often she leaves. This pattern has scarred countless men. It's become a meme in culture because it happens so often. And once a man has felt it, he rarely forgets. Betrayal teaches him a brutal truth. He alone must be the foundation of his life. He cannot outsource his stability. He cannot gamble it on another's loyalty. Millionaire men don't forget the lessons of betrayal. They carry them forward, and they refuse to put themselves in a position where history can repeat itself. Reason 1. The unaffordable luxury. At the very top of the list, marriage, for millionaire men, is no longer a necessity. It's a luxury. There was a time in history when a wife was a survival. She cooked, managed the home, raised children, and kept life functioning. But technology changed that. Convenience changed that. Today, almost everything that once required a spouse can be outsourced, automated, or delegated. A successful man can hire staff. He can afford chefs, assistants, tutors, trainers, even caregivers. All the traditional roles of a wife covered. So what does marriage become? A luxury item, like the cherry on top of an already complete sundae. And luxury comes with a price, not just financial, but emotional, psychological, and reputational. Think about it. Would you buy the cherry if it could poison the entire dessert? Would you spend millions on something that could ruin the very life you've built? Millionaire men see the risk. They see that this luxury comes with enormous costs, and they decide, better to enjoy the sundae without the cherry? That's why reason number 1 is simple, but powerful. Marriage is no longer a necessity. It's an unaffordable luxury. Recap of the 10 reasons. So let's bring it all together. Why are millionaire men rejecting marriage? Reason 10. The ROI doesn't make sense. Reason 9. They must protect assets and reputation. Reason 8. The modern dating market is broken. Reason 7. Their mission is bigger than a relationship. Reason 6. They're immune to manipulation. Reason 5. They're done with the courtship game. Reason 4. Compatibility is rare and costly to chase. Reason 3. Psychological sovereignty means they don't need external approval. Reason 2. Betrayal taught them never to gamble stability. Reason 1. Marriage has become an unaffordable luxury. 10 shocking reasons. 10 truths few men say out loud, but more and more are quietly living by. This isn't about hating women. It isn't about avoiding love. It's about choice. It's about freedom. It's about men finally looking at the deal on the table and realizing the math doesn't work anymore. Millionaire men didn't get where they are by ignoring risk. They got there by protecting assets, prioritizing vision, and playing the long game. And when they look at marriage, they see risk without reward. They see distraction without necessity. They see luxury without value. So they choose the path of sovereignty. They choose freedom, autonomy, and peace of mind. They choose single life, not as a failure, but as a strategy for success. And maybe, just maybe, the question isn't why millionaire men are rejecting marriage. The real question is, what can every man learn from them? If this video gave you clarity, hit that like button. Subscribe to the channel for more truth bombs that every man needs to hear, and turn on the notifications so you never miss a drop of wisdom. Most importantly, share this video with a friend, because one conversation today, I could save him years of regret tomorrow. Until next time, stay healthy, stay sharp, and if you can, stay single.